name's Chris, and this is my How to Draw series. Last time we talked about mastering a circle with our whole arm, and today we're going to build on that foundation by talking about the three types of lines: straight line, the C-curve, and the S-curve. Lines are pretty much the foundation of all of your drawings, so learning a little bit more about them, practicing them, doing some exercises is really going to elevate your work to new heights, I think. So grab your stuff and let's get started. So it's the cat's nap time. I'm not sure, she doesn't look that tired. Hope she lets us do some work. Anyway, here we go. So, oh, no, there she goes. Let's see. I'm going to start with a straight line across the paper, left to right. Nothing you haven't seen before, whoop-de-doo. What I want you to notice is that I'm holding my wrist pretty locked up, and I'm using my shoulder and a little bit of my elbow to draw the lines. So like the circle, this is something you can do when you're warming up. You can find some scrap paper or just an old sketchbook, some room you don't really care to make a mess, and you can practice drawing parallel lines. I would suggest starting with bigger gaps and then moving to smaller gaps, which is going to be a little trickier. It's going to improve your precision over time the more you do those ones. You might want to slow down a little bit, but don't slow down too much because you still want a smooth line, right? Slow down too much, it'll get a little wobbly, and if you go too fast, it won't be as accurate. So parallel lines is a great way to warm up. You can go backwards as well to train that muscle memory. You can go up and down to up, train that muscle memory, and then again diagonally. So some of those motions are going to be more awkward than others. This one's very awkward for me. Depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed. You might not use those motions as often. There's no real need to do this if you can do this, you might argue. But do practice the different angles because you don't want to be constantly turning your page to get that line that you're most comfortable with. Like I gotta do a really smooth line. I better turn my page so I can do it like the way I like to do it. Nothing wrong with that. It just kind of slows down your process. And I think the more interruptions you have to your flow state, the worse off you are. What we're doing here, I don't know, I didn't talk to you about the methodology of my course really, but we're starting with some techniques first before we get into learning how to see, because I think we've got some muscle memory working for you. It's one less thing to think about later on when you're really challenging yourself to draw something complicated. If you've already got the skills and the muscle memory, then you're good to go. So exercise at number one, but in addition to your circles that we're doing, now you're going to introduce lines as well. Different angles, different directions, parallel, close and far. So that's the straight line. We're going to do that with our C-curve and our S-curve as well. So here's the C-curve, and I'm going to go parallel. And we're going to do different directions and try and go between there for precision. Let's try this. Oh, let's do this one. And S-curves as well. Get some circles in there for good measure. Try some crisscrossing ones. It gets a little messy and it's hard to see. If you're trying to do parallel lines and your page is really messy, you might want to just get a fresh page. S-curve going like this, why don't we flip it to that way, maybe like this, backwards maybe. Just one other little adjustment you can make is have lines overlapping at some point. So instead of parallel, let's go like this where they overlap right there. So this is interesting because it's going to help with your precision as well as your line quality, and this creates like kind of something that we're going to talk about in our next video. This is line weight kind of discussion. So I mean, this darker patch could signify a bunch of different things, but you know, for example, it could be depth. This could be further off, or it could be closer to us. It could be tension, something that's holding a lot of weight. But yeah, that's more of a conversation for next time. Line weight. Today was exercises to improve your line quality using the 3 types of lines. So I hope you can introduce this into your warm-ups along with your circles. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.